Sweet Stu. So if you could just introduce yourself, where you're at, and where you've been before.
Yeah, so I'm currently at Marquette University as an assistant director of sports performance. I've been here since 2015, so this started my sixth season. Prior to coming to Marquette, I was at the University of Michigan for a period of 3 years working in orthopedic research, actually, but I was also the sports performance director for men's and women's club rugby at the time. I served 2 internships also while in Michigan, one at Eastern Michigan University with Ron McKeefrey, and prior to that at the University of Michigan in their Olympic sports department as well. And obviously, before that, I was obviously at home overseas in the UK studying for my sport and exercise science degree.
Awesome. Can you tell us a little bit about your coaches and how they're integrated, and maybe give us a little daily and weekly schedule for them?
Absolutely. Yeah. Our intern coaches are part of the fabric of what makes Marquette Sports Performance run. We're really glad to have young coaches coming through there. So we utilize them wholeheartedly in the sense of assisting the full-time staff to coach and deliver this like service to our student athletes. So it's very much a hands-on internship of getting out there and coaching on the floor. Typically speaking, our hours are from about 6 a.m., 6:30 a.m. until about 4 or 5 p.m., depending on the semester. We operate Monday through Friday with some opportunities for Saturday and Sunday contact hours if there are teams in season playing at home where they might be assisting with live logging with Catapult and things of that nature. So that's typically how it works. And obviously we try to make sure that our interns are assisting with both large teams, small teams, male and female teams, mixed teams, and getting some hands-on experience with all the coaches on the staff as well.
Awesome. And then if you wouldn't mind just diving a little bit deeper into your internship curriculum and maybe some skills that those intern coaches are going to get out of their experience at Marquette.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'd say our internship program is a very holistic one. We certainly focus on the X's and O's of strength conditioning, but outside of that, we look to bring more skill sets that are going to help add more strings to their bow, for example. So let's say every week we have 2 1-hour periods with our intern coaches where we look to develop a specific skill set. And some examples of ones that are a little bit outside of the normal would be things like data management and data analytics that we run through. This is like something that's becoming much more prevalent for strength conditioning coaches to need to deal with data. So that's a big one we look at. Velocity-based training tools, and how to develop things like online resumes and an online presence in terms of a portfolio for job application material. So like I say, a number of different sessions per week alongside their normal coaching responsibilities as well.
Awesome. And then either currently or maybe in the past, is there an intern that really sticks out in your mind, and what made them so successful in their time at Marquette?
We've had some really great coaches come through Marquette, and not necessarily due to us where they've ended up, but hopefully we've had a little bit of a touch on them and where they've gone. I would say more recently, Robert or Bobby Teal has recently moved on to be a graduate assistant at SIUE. He was with us for just under a year, and he was great because he was proactive. He was a creative problem solver, and he really brought a kind of critiquing mindset to the weight room to try and assess, what would work and what wouldn't work and what was necessary and unnecessary. So he was great for us, and I'm sure he's going to do great things in the future as he goes through his GA-ship and then moves on eventually from SIUE.
Awesome. I know you just touched on some skills that Bobby had, but just in general, what are some things that you're looking for from interns that really mesh well with the staff at Marquette?
I think young coaches who want to come and join Marquette Sports Performance need to certainly be detail oriented. They need to be driven, motivated individuals. I don't think you'd be in this industry if you weren't. But they certainly also need to be what we might term as social chameleons. We have a diverse population of student athletes at Marquette, and they need to be able to interact with and get on well with people from different backgrounds and even from different countries as well. So it's important that they understand that it's all about relationship building first and foremost, but also that they need to know that they need a motivation to be able to grow and think about self-reflection, not just in a professional sense, but also personal sense.
Awesome. And then lastly, if you were to describe Marquette's sports performance vision or culture or mission, what would that be?
Yeah, I kind of touched on it just there. I think we often think about, relationships over championships and being able to speak directly to the student athlete in front of you and speak to them on a personal level. I think only when we have the trust of the student athletes are we able to really develop them as a person and then as an athlete. So everything that happens in the weight room is, kind of a byproduct of a culture that we're trying to establish. And obviously that comes from the lead sport coach. So teams are trained differently dependent on the lead sport coach in terms of that culture. But we take the lead from them in order to deliver a program that meshes well with their vision for their sport, because ultimately we're trying to make them the best lacrosse player or tennis player or track and field athlete as possible. And without that cultural context, we're kind of going to be, shooting in the dark a little bit. So I think it's driven certainly by understanding that first and foremost, and then applying the science of exercise and science and that kind of performance as well.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you taking some time out of your day to share a little bit about the Marquette experience.
You're very welcome.